The high, isolated monasteries of Tibet have long been a source of profound mystery and intrigue, not least because of the remarkable claims surrounding the paranormal abilities of its monks. From feats of extreme endurance to tales of deep meditative practices that defy logical explanation, these monks have captured the imagination of the world. Today we're going to delve into these mysteries, uncovering both the legendary skills and the practices that support them. One of the most famous practices among Tibetan monks is tummo, or inner fire meditation, which allows them to generate body heat in extreme cold conditions. Monks have been observed drying wet sheets wrapped around their bodies while sitting in the snow, a feat documented by scientists who recorded significant rises in body temperature. This practice involves visualization techniques and controlled breathing that, it is claimed, harness the body's subtle energies. Tibetan monks are also known for their incredible physical endurance. They perform prostrations that involve lying flat on the ground, then standing up, in a motion repeated hundreds and sometimes thousands of times a day during certain practices. This not only requires physical strength, but also an extraordinary level of mental focus and spiritual discipline. Scientific studies have shown that Tibetan monks have unusual pain tolerance, attributed to their deep meditation practices. Researchers using MRI technology observed that monks in meditation could dramatically reduce their perception of pain through techniques that involve controlling the mind's response. Ongoing research into the brains of Tibetan monks who practice meditation has revealed significant differences in brain activity and structure. These changes in areas related to attention, sensory processing, and resilience to stress suggest that intensive meditation can lead to profound changes in how the brain processes the world. Phawwa, or the practice of conscious dying, is another intriguing aspect of Tibetan monastic life. This practice involves the transference of consciousness at the moment of death to a higher state of being. Monks spend many years preparing for this moment, aiming to achieve a transition that bypasses the traditional states of limbo described in Tibetan Buddhist philosophy. Another lesser-known but fascinating practice is the illusory body yoga, which monks use to attain a state where they perceive their physical form as purely illusory. This advanced practice is said to lead to experiences of profound freedom and is a guarded secret among practitioners. The phenomenon of the rainbow body, where the physical body of a highly accomplished practitioner is said to dissolve into light at the time of death, is one of the most extraordinary and least understood of Tibetan practices. Reports claim that several monks have achieved this in recent decades, leaving behind only their hair and nails. Following the incredible phenomenon of the rainbow body, another equally astonishing aspect of Tibetan monks' practices is their extraordinary mastery over memory. Monks spend countless hours memorizing extensive ancient texts, a task that requires not just an exceptional memory but a deep understanding and wisdom. This practice goes beyond simple memorization. It is a journey into the heart of the texts, a constant reflection and meditation that deepens their connection to the wisdom these texts hold. It is yet another demonstration of the extraordinary feats human beings are capable of when they harness the power of the mind. As we continue our journey into the mystical world of Tibetan monks, we now turn our attention towards their ascetic practices. One of the most profound among these is the practice of fasting. Monks often engage in extended periods of fasting, abstaining from food and sometimes even water, to gain greater control over their physical desires and needs. But this is not a practice of self-denial or deprivation. Rather, it is a deep exploration of the body's potential and resilience, a journey to the very core of human survival and endurance. These fasting periods are not just physical challenges, but spiritual quests designed to purify the body and mind. The monks believe that by freeing themselves from the constraints of physical needs, they can reach deeper levels of spiritual realization. They see fasting as a way to cleanse the body, making it a more fitting vessel for the divine energy they seek to channel through their practices. But fasting is only one aspect of the monks' ascetic practices. They also engage in other forms of self-discipline, like solitary meditation in remote locations, braving harsh weather conditions, and rigid adherence to strict daily routines. All of these practices are designed to help the monks master their bodies and minds, to achieve a higher state of spiritual awareness and understanding. As we've seen, the practices of Tibetan monks are both extraordinary and profoundly challenging. However, they are not performed in isolation. Rather, they are deeply integrated into the monks' daily lives and their unique surroundings. The isolated and natural setting of the Tibetan monasteries plays a crucial role in these practices. In the vast expanses of the Tibetan plateau, away from the hustle and bustle of modern civilization, the monks find a sanctuary of silence and simplicity. The monasteries, often nestled between towering mountain peaks or overlooking serene valleys, provide an ideal environment for deep meditation and spiritual practice. The monks draw inspiration from the natural beauty around them, seeing it as a reflection of the divine. The rugged landscapes, the changing seasons, the silence of the wilderness all serve as constant reminders of the impermanence and interconnectedness of all things. This connection with nature is not just metaphorical. The monks' practices are deeply influenced by their environment. The harsh weather conditions, for instance, provide a natural training ground for their endurance practices. The isolation allows them to focus on their spiritual pursuits without distraction. And it's not just about isolation. The monks also live in close-knit communities, supporting each other in their spiritual journey. They believe that the path to enlightenment is not a solitary one, but a communal effort. The role of isolation and nature in the monks' practices offers a powerful lesson for all of us. It reminds us of the importance of simplicity, silence, and connection with the natural world in our own spiritual and personal growth. As we transition from the serene landscapes of Tibetan monasteries to our bustling modern life, we might wonder, how can we apply these profound lessons and practices in our daily life? While we may not have the opportunity to meditate for hours in a secluded monastery, the principles behind these practices remain universally applicable. First, we can cultivate the art of mindfulness, a cornerstone of the monks' meditation practices. Mindfulness can be practiced in the simplest of tasks, like cooking, cleaning, or even breathing. It's about being present, fully engaged with what you're doing in the moment. Second, we can learn from the monks' extraordinary physical endurance. This doesn't mean we need to withstand extreme cold or heat, but rather, it's about pushing our boundaries, be it physical or mental. It could be as simple as taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or challenging ourselves to learn a new skill. Third, the monks' connection with nature underlines the importance of taking time to appreciate our natural surroundings. A simple walk in the park, gardening, or even watching a sunset can help us reconnect with nature and find peace in its silence and beauty. Lastly, just like the monks, we can strive to foster a sense of community. This might involve lending a helping hand, practicing empathy, or simply spending quality time with our loved ones. Remember, the monks' practices are a lifelong journey, not a destination. It's not about perfection, but about progression. As we incorporate these lessons into our lives, we may find ourselves becoming a bit more patient, a bit more resilient, and perhaps a bit more enlightened.